Yeah, I mean, I guess it's very interesting actually that you asked that, because I guess when it comes to, I felt there was a movement prior to lockdown, if you will, where things were becoming more visible. People were able to respond, or things, services were identifiable around them, so they could reach them, whether that be through safe measures, websites, etc. And there was a lot of visibility starting to appear. It felt that way anyway. But obviously, when lockdown happened, I think there was a lot of mixed messages sent through as to restrictions and things like this, and lack of movement and whatnot. So I think at the beginning of lockdown, the mixed messages made, I think, quite a profound impact initially, where people were. It almost sent a message to those that potentially were causing harm, if you will, that there's this restrictive thing around people now that they can operate in. Does that make sense? Hidden, rather than these things be visible. These invisible things probably became more intense.
Yeah, and I think if I could add to that, I think as well as that early use of the social restrictions by abusers to limit further the ability of victims to leave their houses, there's also been, and there's continuing to be, the problem that people who are experiencing abuse don't have that access to the physical spaces, including schools in the early part of the pandemic, and at intervals throughout, and workplaces still for some people that had previously perhaps offered them a place of respite from the abuse, or a place from which they could access support. And there's also been the problem that, although specialist violence and abuse services, they've adapted incredibly well, I think, to providing support on a remote basis, whether that's through text messaging or online chat functions. They've been very badly affected by financial stresses as a result of the pandemic. So the sector's really been quite badly affected by COVID-19 also.